Okay, is this on? Yeah, it's on. Check that. Bam. Okay. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, pow. Take 3. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Marhaban. It's Chef Huda here, and you are tuning in to my segment on the New Freedom Exchange podcast called In the Kitchen with Chef Huda. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you all meet me back here every last Thursday of the month for a new video and or some live cooking sessions. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you all like it. Peace.
Oh, it's me? Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Oh, I thought they were going to play the music. They didn't play the music. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me today. I know it's been a while. Ramadan happened, and I got I do meal prep, so I got some clients that have been keeping me busy. Nobody said being a full-time entrepreneur would be easy. So, but I'm back. I'm back. Hopefully, inshallah, I'll be back every single last Thursday of the month, God willing. But let's talk about today. Okay. Today we are making Mediterranean bowls. So I first did this with my client, and they loved it, and it was really easy. And it's one of those things where you can make it ahead of time, to make all the ingredients ahead of time, and just pull what you need when you need it. And you can switch the proteins, you can switch the vegetables, you can switch the sauces. Some of the stuff is prepackaged, some of the stuff you can make at home. It's really like whatever you're trying to do or not do. Okay. So I have a house full of people, and if you hear them in the back, just know that it's real. So this meal actually came in handy today because one, it's inexpensive, and with gas prices being $8 a gallon, you can pretty much save on the food costs. Two, it's really easy. It took me maybe a half hour, 20 minutes to prepare everything. Three, it's healthy. Summertime here. We're not trying to stay with the stove. We don't want to eat heavy foods. For those who are on a health journey, this is one of those things where it's like it's healthy and delicious and filling at the same time. There's lots of color, lots of vegetables. There's lots of whole grains and protein. So you got all of that in it. And what's the last thing? It's delicious. So Chef Huda made it. So it's good. So we're going to get right into it. So if anybody watch Rachel Ray or Food Network, when you're doing the food shows, you have the stuff like prepared and all of that. So I went ahead and prepared most of the ingredients for the Mediterranean bowl because I don't want to take up all of your time. And I lie to you not, it took me about between prepping, cutting, um, cooking the ingredients just to get the Mediterranean bowl started. It took me about a half hour, 45 minutes. So first things first, we're going to start. It's a Mediterranean bowl. I use a mixture of brown rice and quinoa, but you can use any whole grains you like. I would avoid using white rice only because this is supposed to be a healthy meal, and white rice is the same. So first thing first, I have my brown rice. So the way I'm going to be swiveling the camera back and forth just because I have a tiny kitchen and the tripod is, up there. So I want to be able to make sure you guys see everything. So this is the brown rice that I have, okay? And I seasoned the brown rice. First, I started with a little bit of garlic in the pan, added the oil, garlic, added the brown rice, seasoned it with salt, pepper, and some fresh herbs. So a mixture of oregano and thyme. So I'm gonna put that in the bowl, right? And I'm gonna mix this with the quinoa. I cook them separately but you can definitely cook them together. I think the quinoa might get done maybe 5 minutes earlier than the brown rice, but that is all right. The one thing about quinoa, as long as it's not too overcooked, it's going to stay fluffy, and you want those grains to really pop. So the quinoa, I left that just as is, and it is, you boil the water first. So it's 1 part quinoa. So if I use a cup of quinoa, I'm going to use a cup and a half of water. So I boiled the water, then I added the quinoa and covered it and let that cook for about 15, 20 minutes. So I'm going to add that to it. Okay. So let me see. Can y'all see? Bam, boom. Okay. So then I'm going to take some parsley and I'm going to chop it up and add that to it as well. Now, I'm not going to add all of it. I'm going to use this parsley a little later. Slide that on my cutting board. I'm also going to add some lemon zest because you want everything to have flavor. Okay, so you don't want like dry this and unseasoned that, because when you put it all together, you want each bite to be packed full of flavor. So even if I want to just take a piece of vegetable, it's gonna have flavor. Take a piece of some rice, it's gonna have flavor. So season everything. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of lemon zest. Not a lot. Now, other herbs you could add in here, if you want to keep the theme of it being Mediterranean. So you can add some rosemary, you can add oregano, basil, some thyme. But if you're going to add dry herbs, I'm just using this kind of get all the juices and stuff out. If you're going to add dry herbs, make sure you add them during the initial cooking process. You don't ever want to add dry herbs to your finished product. Never say never, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to cut this lemon. Now, I have, but I couldn't find it, and I'm not wasting my time looking for it, a citrus juicer. So what I'm going to do is the old-fashioned way, is squeeze it by hand. I have to take the lemons out, the seeds out. So one thing you can do is take a spoon and just squeeze it. Put the spoon, and I'm not going to add all of this, just enough to flavor it. A little bit of olive oil, just a little so it's not dry. And mix that together. So I'll bring that over to you so you can see how I'm mixing. You just wanted to, like I said, I seasoned the brown rice already with salt and pepper, so I'm not going to overdo it. But of course, you taste it, and if you think it needs some more salt, need some more pepper, and that's it. Where's the camera? That's it, basic. So it's brown rice, quinoa, parsley, lemon juice, lemon zest, olive oil. Okay, so now that I have all of that, that's all today. We're going to talk about each ingredient, what I did, how to prepare it, and then we're going to build our Mediterranean bowl. So I have here, so I have to kind of play seesaw with the camera in my kitchen. So this here, I have roasted vegetables, right? This is pretty. It's so colorful and nice and Mediterranean-y. That's not a word, it's a word of today. So you can use whatever roasted vegetable you want. If you like broccoli, use broccoli. If you like cauliflower, use cauliflower. If you like Brussels sprouts, use Brussels sprouts. This is about you, not about me. All right. So I use zucchini, yellow squash, red peppers, and Brussels sprouts. And I diced it up because when I go to eat it, I want to make sure I'm able to get everything in one bite. Okay. And I seasoned it with salt, pepper, olive oil, some dried oregano, some dried basil, and fresh rosemary and thyme. And did I say salt, pepper? Salt, pepper, oil, toss it, boop, 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 bam. And you put it in the oven for about 400 degrees for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Depending on how you cut it, it's going to determine how fast it gets done. Okay. Then I have some roasted chickpeas. And this is where your crunch factor comes in. And one thing about food is we have different textures, different textures. So you have creamy, you have crunchy, you have what else? Other stuff. I can't think right now. But I like to have a few elements in my food. So I have the softness of the roasted vegetables. Then I have the crunchiness of the roasted chickpeas. And I seasoned this the same exact way. Salt, pepper, garlic, some fresh herbs, olive oil. I tossed it. I did put a little bit of lemon zest in this one. So feel free to add the lemon zest or not. And I put it in the oven, 400 degrees, and let it cook until it got toasted, but not burnt. You don't want burnt food. Okay? Is that burnt? Yeah. That's crisp. That's okay. So you can put both of these in the same exact time. Okay? What I did was took a sheet pan, or if you got an air fryer, you can double it up on the air fryer, feel free. If you're using an oven, take a sheet pan, a cookie sheet, whatever y'all calling them these days, and get some aluminum foil. Spray your aluminum or oil aluminum foil or not, and take two separate aluminum foils. And one is going to be your roasted vegetable, right? The second one is going to be your chickpeas. And you can pop them both in there at the same time. One pan, no mess. Because after it's done, guess what? You're going to take that aluminum foil, ball it up, throw it in the trash. Hey, simple. I'm all about less mess, okay? So whatever works for me. I'm going to turn this oven on because I'm going to get ready to cook the protein in a minute. So then we have raw vegetables. And this is just a blend of cucumbers and tomatoes. There's absolutely no seasoning on this. You can add salt and pepper, but I like the freshness of the vegetable and I don't want to ruin it. And I like the cleanliness that it gives. It gives that cleansing palate, that cleansing taste to your palate. So as I'm eating all the other flavors, this one is adding that fresh taste. Now, what you could do is add a little bit of salt, some lemon zest, and some mint to this. And that'll add another level of freshness. But I am not. Okay? And then the last thing I think we have is this. Okay? What is this? What is this? You ask? Pickled onions. Okay. Sometimes I really do impress myself because these are pretty. So I already know this is going to be a pretty good dish. You get it? Get what I did there? Pretty good? Okay. So there are two ways to cook pickled onions. One way is if you're preserving. So if you're making preserves or like you're doing a pickling thing, you can take your liquid and it's pretty much a mixture of vinegar, water, salt, sugar, and if you want to add other spices, you can add other spices. I kept mine very simple. I use a mixture of red wine vinegar and apple cider vinegar, a little bit of water, about 2 tablespoons of sugar, just to cut that acidity of the vinegar, but not too much. You still want it pickled, okay? It's not candy. And about a tablespoon of salt, and that'll just extract more flavor from the onions. So when I made this for my client, I did pickled cucumbers and onions. This time I opted out of pickling the cucumbers and instead I just did the cucumbers fresh. So if you're doing the pickling, what you're going to do is thinly slice the onions. You can do it on like a mandolin or a shredder. If you're making a lot, you want to get a food processor with a shredder attachment. You want to make sure it's as thin as possible. Then you're going to fill it in a jar. A jar. I don't have a jar to show you, but mason jar, right? We all know what a mason jar is, right? So you're going to fill your onions in a mason jar. Then you're going to boil your liquid and pour it over your onions. And then you're going to close the lid, seal it, let it sit. I didn't do that, okay? Because one, I'm not saving you. Well, I am going to save them, but I'm not doing it for preserves. I'm just trying to make something. So what I did with this one, I did the same exact concept, but instead of boiling the liquid and pouring it over the onions, I boiled it all together. I boiled it all together. I used 2 very small onions with the liquid and mixed it all. Boiled it all together for about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes until the onions started to soften and turn. You got that really bright red. That's red. Yeah, the really bright red color. And that's that. So now we get to the protein. So the protein is the easy part. That's the part where you can decide what you want to eat. You can do chicken, you can do beef, you can do beef, lamb. If people still eating tofu, do the tofu. It's really up to you. I chose to do lamb. Hadn't had lamb in a while. I said, why not? It's Friday night, so might as well do it. So what I did with this lamb, okay, is I seasoned it with the same seasonings. Okay, if you notice, there's a theme here. So garlic, fresh herbs, salt, pepper, olive oil. Only difference with the lamb is I added a little bit of plain yogurt. And I did lemon zest. So the plain yogurt, it helps tenderize the lamb. And I mixed it, let it sit for a little bit, maybe an hour, half hour, depending on who loves chickpeas. Oh, thanks, Ray. I didn't make the chickpeas, but they're in there. She's in the room actually, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna get some. It smells good. Girl, bye. You in the next room, girl. Stop playing. But so yeah, so I put that in the refrigerator for a little bit and let that sit. So then let me turn this over here because now we're about to get our cooking of the lamb on. So this is where that part comes from. Ta-da! So this is my cast iron pan. Well, it was my grandmother's, then it was my mom's, and now it's gonna be mine when when things happen, aka when she passed away. So put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. So the thing with cooking meat, you want it to have a nice sear on it. You don't want it to be like gray and bland and you want it to get a nice sear so it can lock in that flavor, lock in that moisture. So I heated the pan up already. So now I can heat the oil up, right? So that doesn't take long. And you want to make sure it's enough room to not crowd the pan. Okay? 1 is 2's company, 3's a crowd, something like that. So you don't want too many people in your mix. I'm gonna take this. Let me see if y'all can. Let me know if y'all hear the sizzle. If y'all don't hear the sizzle, it's a problem. I didn't do my job. So let me make sure it's hot. Okay. I feel the heat. Can you feel the heat? Is that how it goes? No. Anyway. Okay, it's sizzling. Woo! I was nervous. If that John wasn't sizzling, y'all gonna be like, she just told us to make sure. So what I'm gonna do is let it sear on one side. I hope y'all can see that. Let it sear on one side, then I'll start to turn it over, let it sear, get brown, nice and brown, then I'll turn the heat down and let it simmer. Think about lamb and the also, I'm just trying to see so y'all can look at me. Another good thing about this meal is you don't have to get the fancy parts of any protein that you buy. I literally bought some lamb pieces that they use for like seasoning, which is way cheaper than trying to buy loin or chops or any other nice cuts. Now, depending on which cut you do get, you might have to cook it a little wrong. I know people don't like to do the extra work, so just get whatever's easiest for you. My land don't. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We gotta. Oh no, not rush. Rush. You gotta do better. We'll talk about this later. Okay. The food has when you're making your protein and you want to cook a nice piece of chicken or steak, especially, make sure your pan is nice and hot, please, because if you invite me over and your steak is gray, I can't go for that. All right. So heat the pan first. I see a lot of people will put the oil in the pan first and then turn the heat on. One thing that will do is, if depending on what type of oil you use, it's going to cause your oil to burn. It's gonna, if it has a high smoke point, it's going to burn faster. So what you want to do is, and it takes longer to heat. So you heat your pan up first. This pan ain't got to be piping hot. You don't want the pan to be scorched, but you want to get it hot. And then once you put the oil in, you want to heat the oil up. So let me show y'all what it's looking like. I turned the heat up. It's on like a medium high. So once I flip it, it's going to be at a medium low. So this is the grandma. All right. So you see that? Not too close. All right. That's what you want to look like. That's what you want it to look like. All right. If it ain't looking like that, your pan wasn't hot enough. All right. Ooh, look at this one. I'm gonna show y'all this one. This is burden. Right. See that? Can y'all see that? Yes or no? See, let me know if you see that, girl. All right. So now I'm gonna toss it up. Get the other side going. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. One thing I don't like to do is brag, but the way this lamb is looking right about now, I could sell this just like lamb. Y'all want lamb? Lamb. That's it. So now I'm gonna cover it up, turn that heat down a little bit, and in a second put it on the back burner because we all know the back right burner is the weakest link, right? If anybody got a back right burner that's better than the front right, invite me over because I need proof. So boom. Last thing we are going to do before we build our Mediterranean bowl is we're going to make tzatziki. It's optional. You don't have to. And it's a real super simple, easy recipe. Yogurt, dill, mint, lemon juice, garlic, bam, easy. Cucumber. So I got a small, what's this? 5-ounce thing of plain yogurt. what I'm gonna do, and this is gonna be quick and easy. Okay, it's not wanting that. I'm gonna take another bowl and shred a cucumber. Is this a grater, a simple grater? I was looking for my box grater. I couldn't find it, so I found this handy dandy handheld one. Thanks, Mom. And it's easy. I don't even need this whole cucumber. I'm gonna do something with it later when y'all not looking. And the thing about cucumber is it packs a lot of water. So before we mix it, we want to make sure that right? So what else can we do? It's almost done. Before we mix it with the yogurt, we want to make sure we get as much of the water out as we possibly can. Dang. Oh, it's this one. What is it? That cucumber you stay in the chain. So this is the cucumber. What I'm gonna do is take this mesh strainer. I'm gonna pour that. I'll be back. And all I'm doing, you guys can't see, and it's about to get messy, is straining the water out of the cucumber. So I'm just smashing it with the back of my hand to the strainer. And then all that liquid come out. Get as much as I can because I don't want it to be wet. And what it'll do is if you don't get the water out, it causes your yogurt to separate. And it look like something that one of the kids made. All right. So put that in the sink. Which I had my assistant to do the dishes. So here's the cucumber. I got as much as the water out as I could. I'll probably use about half of this. Okay. Yeah, that's good. What you can also do if you want to save the water, you can strain it overnight in a refrigerator. So if you do this ahead of time, you can strain it overnight in a refrigerator and make some really nice cucumber water. You can add some mint to it or whatever, some ginger. So I have cucumber. I'm gonna chop up 1 clove of garlic. This doesn't make a lot. Fresh garlic is always best, but like I said, this is up to you. They sell minced garlic in the market. They also sell tzatziki in certain markets, Whole Foods or maybe Wegmans or Mom's. You might be able to find it there. Sometimes ShopRite has it, but good luck with that. So 1 clove of finely chopped garlic goes right into the mixture. All right. Wash my hands again because let's just hold it down. Then this mint came directly from the garden in front of our house, right? Look how big, real quick. I'm sorry. I said this thing is gonna be like 15 minutes long, right? Look how big this thing is. So if you have the opportunity, space and opportunity, you can always grow your own herbs. It makes life easier, especially with everything that's going on. It's just simple just to do it. So outside we have some mint, we have basil, we have thyme, and yeah, so I'm going to layer these mint leaves, roll them up, and chop them nice and fine. And I have two more ingredients to add to this, and then we're going to build our bowl. Okay? Next, dry dill. Okay? Boom. Simple. What's this? Simple. And some more. A backup spoon. Lemon juice. Okay? Enough of that. And I'm going to mix it. And bam. If you want a little bit of smokiness, or you can add some cumin to it, but we're going to keep it simple. All right, so now everything is done. So my project. Okay, and we are going to make our bowls. So I'm going to have to scoot you guys lower so you can actually see what what I'm doing. Sorry, share with me. If you want a tour, okay. So now we come to this crossroads in our lives where we got to get a little up close and personal. So let's build our bowl. First things first. No, I'm just kidding. So first things first is we want to put our grains in our bowl. This is really enough for 2 people, but hey, go big or go home is what I say. For y'all newlyweds out there, this is definitely a nice summertime picnic where you can both share. Okay, hint, hint. Go out, little picnic. I was like, hey, babe, let's have a Mediterranean bowl. You only need 1 bowl, 2 forks, or 1 because it's sooner to feed your wife from your hands. So, bam, fellas, hint, hint. So, the first thing I'm going to add is the roasted vegetables. I'm going to get a bowl, another spoon. You're not worrying about dishes because in TV land, they always have somebody to wash the dishes for you. But in real life, I have to get my son to do it. All right. And this is one of those things where we're going to go around and around. All right. So bear with me, people. Then we're going to do, let's do chickpeas. Okay. Chickpeas. Okay. Now, how about, let's do some pickled onions, right? So let me get some spatula. So pickled onions. And it's all right if some of the juice get in there. That's more flavor. Okay? Bam. Boom. Then we'll add, excuse my hands, the raw vegetables, the cucumbers, and the tomatoes. So I'll show you what it looks like so far before we go and add the protein and the sauce. Oh, I have another thing too. As a matter of fact, let's add the protein. So, oh my God, who made this lamb? That thing is delicious. So here we go. I just want to show y'all that lamb a little bit. Got a little crisp, but that's all right. Because guess what? It's so good. I'm sorry. I don't mean to chew in y'all ear. I can't resist. Uh-oh. Y'all didn't see that. Now, if I really wanted to, I'm not because, trying to be healthy. But that oil, I would definitely drizzle that around this thing. But you can if you want to, and don't if you don't want. So this is how it looks so far. Okay. Tell me what y'all think. We have our roasted chickpeas, our roasted vegetables. We have our lamb, cucumbers and tomatoes, and our pickled vegetables, our pickled onions. So we're not done. All right. That's just it. So I got something for y'all I forgot to talk about. I thought I had it. Oh, yep, I got it. So, a few more things I wanted to add is some hummus. Now, let me just show you what I look like. You can make hummus on your own, but we're all about saving time and all of that. We got kids, we have jobs, we have lots of stuff going on in our lives. So we're not making matters worse for us. We're just trying to make it easy. Like we always say at my job, work smarter, not harder. Okay? So I bought hummus. I know how to make hummus, but I bought hummus. I bought it from Tried. You can also buy Sabre or whatever you like. There's also a sister, anybody in the Philadelphia area, who is known as the Hummus Lady. I will have to find the information, but if I can find it, I'll post it on my Instagram page. So all I'm gonna do is go back to the food. All right. Back to the food. It's almost over, y'all. Okay, I know. We're like, come on, girl, we hungry. I wish y'all were here so you can eat with me. That's gonna go right in the center. Put as little or as much as you like. Then here comes the best part. I wish I could slow mo this. So you're just gonna go around, around, and just put it all over. Okay? Especially on that lamb. Okay. Last but not least, feta cheese. Okay. Bam. I usually get feta from the meat market and it's in the brine, which is the absolute best one because it lasts forever. And two, because it's just so right. But when you can't do, you just make improvements. Sorry. Mm. Oh, that's good. So this lamb is Mediterranean herb, and I see some oregano, some rosemary, and even some sun-dried tomatoes. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm greedy. I couldn't wait. But that's it. I hope they're ready for dinner. So let's see it again. The finishing touch. And there we go. Now I'm over there. Okay. How's that looking? See? Let me know. All right. So let me put y'all back up here for a second so I can talk to you. If I have food in my teeth, it doesn't even matter anymore. So I'm going to get a fork. This is a lot of food. Who's sharing? Oh, I want everybody to tell me what y'all think. And I'm going to taste it. I don't even know where to start. I'll start with what's closest to you. Oh, look at that. The lamb is closest. I'm trying to get in there. So, oh, this thing right here. This thing right here. That's where it's at. Okay. God is good. So I took up enough of your time. I bismillah that John. Yes, sis. Bismillah that John. It's very delicious. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, staying with me, and taking a ride. I appreciate it. I'll be back next month. Hold on. Yeah, you can offer your service. I need a dishwasher. Thank you very much. Dishwashers get free meals. So I will be back, inshallah, next month, the last Thursday of the month, with another video. If anybody have any suggestions on what they want to see, please let me know. Make sure you follow my Instagram, Maida Catering Co. MAIDAH Catering Co. I'm also on TikTok. I'm not on there a lot, but I'm getting there, so bear with me. And my TikTok is mainly fitness and food. So make sure you tune in. I'll be posting here and there. I'm trying to get better, so y'all just be patient with me. And I want to thank the New Freedom Network for having me again and also being patient with me. So everybody have a good night. Assalamu alaikum.